Sup bros, today we're going to review the brand new Heybike Mars 3.0. We're also going to be building and taking a sneak peek at the new Ranger 3.0 Pro. We'll be riding the Ranger in the next video. We'll be riding the Mars 3.0 in this video. You can see the current price of these bikes linked below the video in the description box. I also have a little coupon code down there to help save you some money. If you do decide to buy one of these bikes or both of these bikes, but don't buy them just yet, we got to check them out, take a closer look at them, see how they perform out on the sand. Can they climb the 20% grade? What kind of range do they get? How do they ride? So let's check them out and see what they're made of. So here's what the Mars looks like when you get out of the box. And comparing the Mars 3.0 to the Ranger 3.0 Pro, we can see the Ranger is a step-through frame. So what else is different? I actually don't know. Let's take a look. Actually, let's look at the similarities. So the Mars 3.0 is part of the X series, and so is the Ranger. And the Mars 3.0 is a folding e-bike, and so is the Ranger 3.0. And both of these bikes are full suspension. The Ranger 3.0 has a rear shock like this. On the Ranger, it is an air shock, so you can actually change your air pressure in that chamber with a shock pump. Just to be clear, the Ranger 3.0 Pro is the blue bike here. It is a V5, pretty basic looking rear shock. So right away, I can tell you the Ranger 3.0 Pro, despite just the name of it, you can tell that is the more expensive bike. You can see the exact prices in the link below this video. And hopping back over to the Mars 3.0, looking at the rear shock on this one, it is an even more basic rear shock. We've seen this one before, the Innovation Technologies. There are no adjustments on this shock whatsoever, but it is an air shock sitting on a 4-bar linkage. And both of these bikes do have front suspension. The Mars 3.0 looks about 60 millimeters of travel. It looks like you get a basic open or lock adjustment as compared to what we got going on the Ranger 3.0. These stanchions look a little bit thicker. I think there might be a little bit more travel there too. This might be 80 millimeters, but on the adjustments, you can just tell you get clicks in between, so micro adjustments on the front suspension. You just tell that's a little bit better quality. Taking a look at the rear brakes on the Mars 3.0, we get a 180 millimeter rotor. They are hydraulic brakes, no brand on that caliper. Then popping over to the Ranger 3.0, we also get hydraulic brakes. It is a 180 millimeter rotor, but the rotors on the Ranger are a little bit higher quality compared to what you get on the Mars. The tires on both the Ranger and the Mars are both 20 by 4 inches. On the Ranger, you get Kenda Crusade tires. On the Mars, you get Chow Yang. Generally speaking, the Kendas are a little bit higher quality. The Chow Yangs that you get on the Mars are this kind of tread pattern. They're fairly similar. Here's a look at the rack that comes on the Mars. There's a light on the back. And the Ranger, you also get a rack. It's a little bit different. The light on the back is a bit different. Actually says Heybike on it. So let's take a look at the motors. This is the Mars motor. It is a Galaxy E-drive, and there's all the numbers and stuff on it. I'll show you how it performs when I get outside. And over here on the Ranger 3.0 Pro, we also get a motor that is called the Galaxy. This one has some stampings on it saying it is a 750 watt motor. So both of these bikes have folding handlebars. Pop that clip free and they fold down. The Ranger has a fancy red anodized color, and both of them are adjustable height as well. The Ranger does have 4 bolts up here holding down the handlebars. Over on the Mars 3.0, you get 2.0 bolts holding down them bars. As far as the controls on the Mars, we get round rubber grips, quarter twist throttle on the right, 8 speeds on a Shimano shifter, still on the Mars. And here is the display, turn signals and horn. And on the Ranger 3.0, it's basically an identical copy paste, 8 speed over here too, same display, same signals and everything. There is one difference, and that goes back to the brakes. The brakes on the Ranger, the levers feel a little bit nicer compared to the levers that come on the Mars 3.0, but they're both hydraulic brakes. Looks like we get the same seat on both of these bikes. Doesn't matter if you get the Mars or the Ranger, either way you get a Heybike charger that looks similar. They each have a 2 amp output. However, they do have different connectors. This one goes to the Ranger, this one goes to the Mars. So let's take a look at the batteries. The Ranger, easier to get the battery off the Ranger because on the Mars, the battery is concealed inside the frame. So you gotta use the key to unlock it down here. And then the whole thing just kind of comes out just like this. Whoa. And now your whole bike is a little bit lighter. So this is the Heybike Mars battery. Ranger. The Ranger is listed as a 720 watt hour battery, 15 amp hours, 48 volts. And the Heybike Mars battery is a little bit smaller at 624 watt hours of energy, 13 amp hour, 48 volt battery. So the Mars battery is a little bit lighter, but it's harder to take it off the bike if you need to like pick your bike up and load it. It's a 9-pound battery compared to the Ranger battery, weighs in at, interesting, my scale is showing 8.4 pounds actually for the Ranger battery, 8.2 pounds. And so interesting, the smaller battery actually weighs more. That could be due to the case. I guess maybe the shell is a little heavier. Yeah, it definitely feels lighter. So let's take a look at the dropouts. On the Heybike Mars, we get open dropouts. And on the Ranger, we get open dropouts as well. But you can tell there's like a higher quality fork on the Ranger. This is actually really interesting comparing two bikes side by side. Can you tell the difference in quality? Hopefully that weld holds up. So both these bikes have the exact same folding pedals. So these are folding e-bikes. Let's see how difficult or easy they are to actually fold. Now this one has the battery out on the Mars, which is a bit of a pain to get out compared to the Ranger. Ugh. So handlebars collapse and it just kind of folds in half. Not too shabby. Out the way, Mars. Same exact process on the Ranger. These things are always easier to fold up and put in a car if you take the battery out. So just move that latch and the whole thing fold in half. Oh, they're honestly never that easy to fold for these fat tire ones. They got a bit of weight to them. It's a little bit awkward. There's some pinch points. You gotta be careful. So in general, I'd say the Ranger is probably the easier one since you can pop the battery off. Let's weigh them. So I'm just gonna pick up each of these bikes and subtract my weight. My weight is 192.4 today, and it'll actually be easier to do this whole thing with the bike unfolded, which is just a little bit of a wrestling match, but not too bad. Swatch your fingers, bros. And make sure you click these things in place. So let's pick the Ranger up, standing on the scale. 261.
68.6.
So 68.6 for the Ranger without the battery. Man, this battery's so light. Then add 8.4 pounds to that. And I don't want to have to mess with collapsing this whole thing down more than once. So I'm just gonna put the battery in and weigh this one. Oh, this is a pain in the butt, man. This is where you're gonna get your workout in on this e-bike. Oh, this is a little weightlifting machine. Watch the fingers, lock it up. You'd be wise to lock the battery too. So when you open it, if you open that thing up, you don't want the battery to fall out on you. That's happened to me before. All right, so standing on the scale, picking up the Mars 3.0 with the battery in it, 263.0.
70.6.
So it looks like the Mars 3.0 is marginally lighter considering with the battery in both of them. So let's just hop on both these bikes back to back and see if there's a meaningful difference between the two. I have the handlebars on max height, seat on max height on the Mars 3.0. Hopping aboard, got a little suspension back there. Picking these pedals out, got the collapsible pedals. Suspension feels real basic on the back of the Mars 3.0. We'll feel it out once we get out on the road. Just a basic open and lock on the front of this one. Handlebars are adjustable, so you can drop them down. One of the nice things about these folding bikes is they can fit, multiple riders because you can just kind of, tune the adjustments on it. Seat goes way down, so this one could fit a pretty darn short rider too, as you can see here. Woo! And if you want to look like a clown, raise them bars up, keep the seat down. But let's pull up example number 2 here. All right, so we're gonna drop the battery in the Ranger 3.0 Professional. So I have this on the maximum settings as well, handlebars and seat on the max. So easier to get on this one because it's got the step through frame, like really low, wide step through frame, nothing really obscuring your ability to get on this one. Still need to tighten down that front fender. Rear suspension feels real firm on this one. So as mentioned, it is an adjustable air shock. I don't know what the PSI is in that right now. We might need to adjust it, but here's kind of how I'm sitting on this one. Same deal, handlebars go down and the seat go down as well. So yeah, for a short rider, I would say this one would be easier to get on and more rideable for a short rider. there you have it. So I feel pretty sure these are both gonna work the same way. Let's give it a try. So on the Mars 3.0, you actually have to have the key in the on position down there. And then once that's on, you can turn the bike on, you get your Heybike, welcome. And there is a Bluetooth for this. All zeros works if you don't wanna mess with it. So actually a pretty nice looking display. So you get watts right on there, as well as speed and eco. Tour, STD, Sport, and Turbo. It actually kind of looks like a turbo when it's on turbo. Then it shows voltage of the battery, time, average speed. Cool. Let's just see if this one's the exact same real quick. Oh, you got to turn the battery on. I think I saw somewhere on this one. Yeah, if it's not turning on. Oh God, don't forget there's a switch on the battery. Don't drop your battery now. Guessing this is the exact same. Yep, so same stuff. What about advanced settings, plus and minus? Okay, so you can change some of this stuff in here. All right, cool. So both of these bikes have the same exact light and signals and stuff on front. On the back, the Mars has a more basic light compared to what you get on the Ranger 3.0. And also, I'm just now realizing you get a pair of NFC chips with both of these, so you don't have to mess with the pin code. But you can, and then you could use NFC to unlock it. Pretty cool little feature. Just don't lose these guys. I suppose I should also show you the gears. You get 8 gears on the Mars 3.0. Shimano Altus derailleur with a derailleur guard. Pretty large chainring. And the Ranger 3.0, you also get 8 gears. Shimano Altus derailleur. They don't have a derailleur guard on this one. And basically the same exact chainring on this bike. So let's go give them a rip. All right, dudes, let's check out the Heybike Mars 3 and see how it performs. Of course, we're gonna check our official range on the Strava app per usual. And firing this thing up, we'll go ahead and use the NFC unlock chip here. You can put in a password if you want. Got it on full charge, of course. They do have an app, so you can kind of get in there and fine tune pedal assist levels and all that, as well as a quick look at how all the buttons work on here. So let's throw it on STD and get on out of here. So let's take a look at the lights in the elevator. You hold the plus button, turns on the front light. It's pretty bright. Got that light on the rear with the brake light. Signals on front and back too, actually. Kind of a rare feature. So let's give it a go at the 20% grade, see how the Mars 3.0 does on its own. I didn't unlock it or anything. We'll do throttle only. I weigh 200 pounds, ready to go. So shows 1200, 1100 watts, 1300 watts, 1300 watts pulling us up. 20% grade, no pedaling at all. I don't know if we get a little more power or not after we unlock it. That was turbo mode. So first observations riding this bike, feels pretty darn well balanced. I like where the battery's at on this one. These short wheels just kind of, you know, helps reduce the feel of the weight compared to like a taller wheel bike. Sometimes these fatties can feel a little lethargic. This one doesn't really. And also, I can see that screen real easily out here in the bright Cali sunshine. However, once I throw these polarized shades on, it filters that screen completely out to nothing. So I guess I do make films you can put on those screens to fix that, or just don't wear polarized shades. All right, let's talk about ride mode. So let's throw it on down to 0. Just turn off everything. We're on gear number 8, which makes it hard to pedal at slow speeds, but you got 8 gears, put it down to 1. And that just totally fell off. The chainring back there, darn it. No. Don't ever put your fingers down in all of that until the bike is completely off. You would not want that motor to kick on with your fingers down there. Well, let's see if we can get this thing back on there. Starting out this review with some greasy fingers, my favorite. All right, so let's turn this thing back on. Good idea to bring this with you. All right, so on gear 1, let's just see how this thing is to pedal with no power assist at all. You can get it rolling, man. It's a little bit heavy, but you know, if your battery died, you'd be able to get it home cruising about 4-5 miles an hour, maybe a little more. Riding position is very upright, pretty chill. I got the handlebars on max and seat on max. Let's throw it on 1 here. So it is a torque sensor, which gives you power in proportion to how hard you press on the pedals. Feels a little bit more refined and natural compared to a cadence sensor, which does not do that. So this is the preferred sensor for most individuals. And on eco mode, torque sensor is pretty gentle. It's giving us around 200 watts of power, 300 watts of power. I love that it shows you exactly how much power is giving you. I also love that you can actually see the display, because that is not true for all e-bikes I review. A lot of times you get out here in the bright sun, you can't even see these things at all. So yeah, we are on top gear of 8, cruising on eco mode. Actually, we're in gear 7 now. Feels like a nice natural cruising kind of pace. I'd imagine, you know, most people looking to buy this bike are gonna just kind of be more of a chill rider. So pumping on up to Tour, yep, just gives you access to that power a little bit easier. You don't have to press quite as hard on the pedals at all. Let's go ahead and throw it back down to Eco and see what throttle does. So throttle, it'll give you access to basically all the power until you hit 20, which it cuts you off. What if you pedal beyond 20 on Eco mode? So it looks like you can go a little faster than 20. Going around a corner, you want to be careful about pedaling. You don't want your pedal to strike the ground as you're going around the corner. So generally, keep your pedal up around the corner that you're leaning into. These shorter 20-inch fatties are much more nimble and handle a lot more quickly than taller 26-inch wheels. All right, so let's put it on STD mode. So as you just dial these up to Sport and then Turbo, it basically just makes it so you get access to the power more easily. You don't have to press on the pedals as hard on Turbo compared to Eco. Yeah, and on Turbo, you really just don't even have to press on the pedals that hard at all. It's real eager to give you that power, but it does cut you off at 20 miles an hour, so we're gonna have to open up the app and unlock the top speed. But before we do that, let's just take it for a little bit of light off-road riding. So you have a super basic rear shock on it, and also a very basic front shock as well. So basically just either open or close on the front. It's super soft on the front. Rear is fine. You just know the suspension on this bike is nothing to write home about, but you know, it's gonna feel a lot better riding this thing off-road compared to, you know, a bike with no suspension. And also that means, you know, your frame's not gonna have to take all the impact. You have your tires and a little bit of suspension eating up the bumps and stuff. So it cushions your ride, but it's not great. I should have unlocked the top speed, because 20 on a road like this, might be illegal, but feels more dangerous. So as shown in the unboxing portion of this review, there is turn signals front and back, just like all these vehicles. I wonder if we can get in real quick on the settings. I forget how to do it. Yeah, we gotta get in the app. So I just turn it off and back on. Let's try and hook it up here. Searching. So it sees our bike, we'll connect it up. Boom, easy peasy on the Heybike app. So now you can like get into these settings and do, you know, 0 through 3 pedal assist, 0 through 5. Basically just set, do you want 3 or 5 levels? We'll leave it on 5. And we'll get into the personalized setting here, where the max speed is set to 20 miles per hour. Just bump that up to 28, which is max. There's also a throttle speed limiter. We'll just leave that alone, and we'll leave all these other settings alone. But just know you can kind of get in there and mess with the settings quite a bit on the Heybike app. I've shown this in other Heybike reviews. So pretty easy. Oh, it gives us battery percentage too. All right, now with everything unlocked, let's give it a 0 to 20 rip by like 200 pounds. Ready, go. So it shows 1200 watts, 15, and we're gonna have to let off here. Give that one more rip here. So it looks like speedometer might lag a bit there. Ready, go. 1200 watts, 1300 watts, 15 and 20, and now with everything unlocked, we can go beyond 20, holding throttle, taking us up to a top speed of, showing 27, 28 on here, 28.5, and GPS usually lags a little bit, but yeah, right around 28 miles an hour is the top speed of the Mars 3.0. And can you pedal at this speed? Yeah, you keep up, just barely. I wouldn't want to pedal any faster than this, but you can do it. So we got the Navi tread, which is good for sand riding. Let's give it a little sample right here. How well is it gonna do? I don't know. We're gonna get out there a little deeper and see how it does though. Let's give it a little rip up the good old incline here. Full throttle. So the wide tires, oh yeah, the wide tires with the Navi grip allow you to ride over the sand. Is it gonna have enough power to power through out there? So as mentioned, rear suspension, it's there. It exists. It is not top tier suspension by any means, but definitely cushions your ride. All right, so we got this thing cranked up to turbo mode, and let's give it a rip on the beach. Let's give it a try at least. Going full throttle here, and it's going. I'm not pedaling at all. Actually, I'm gonna start pedaling right now. It's starting to. Yeah, it's kind of dying down, but it is giving about 1,000 watts power here, powering through, kind of taking some of my weight off the bike. Man, these waves are coming up high, dude. So we got the Navi tread on the edge of the tires here. And yeah, once we're down here on the hard packed sand, obviously these 20x4s do just fine, and there's plenty of power to just kind of throttle this thing. So if you're trying to get out for a little beach adventure, oh my goodness, this wave is gonna get us, I'm pretty sure. We've about got pinned between the people and the wave there. But yeah, I'm just throttling here, so you know, it can handle the sand to some degree. I do e-bike reviews, yeah.
Dude, I got my Hopscotch because of your videos.
Ah, right on, man.
I literally got it because you do my commute.
Okay.
I literally go from where I live to right here. I was like, that's pretty perfect.
That's awesome, man. So starting from a stop here, so we're getting along here just fine here. And I'm gonna try and build a little momentum and not get taken out by a wave here and see if we can get just a bit of speed here and then go up this hill. So we are running 20 PSI on the tires as well, so lower PSI always helps, but this bike, it's just not a sand monster at the end of the day. You can just get off and throttle it though, like this, if you're going out for a little sand adventure. As I always say, this soft sand is like the absolute harshest conditions you could pretty much put an e-bike through. But yeah, you don't wanna strain the motor too much. Like if it's struggling like that, you'll end up burning it up, or the controller will overheat or something.
Jaws like scenarios around here?
You know, I'm honestly really not the one to ask, but in general, you know, humans aren't really on their menu.
This is like public beach. Anyone can just come here, set up chairs, swim.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's what, you know, in Florida, it's ridiculously private. Like you can't do
Oh, is it really?
This is so cool though.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's like the best place in the world. I love it here.
Because like, you know, here it's the fire, Florida it's the water.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're at, man. Like you're screwed no matter where you live, man. Pretty sweet Corvette Stingray. This bike's kind of fun just to like stand on the pedals like a giant scooter. Looks like they're making a movie over here. Do you know what they're filming for?
TV show.
Oh, TV show. They're filming for Heybike TV. Shoot, these kids are shredded out here on these motorcycles. So if you need to do deep, consistent stand riding, this might not be the #1 option, but just a quick little blast like this, you can get through, bro. All right, let's start it up the California incline, 12% grade. We'll climb 85 vertical feet. So we have it on turbo mode. I can see some traffic coming here. Hopefully we don't get interfered with. I'll do full throttle. It shows about 1200 watts. I had to let off and back on the throttle. It's hard to look at the display and control where I'm going, but it's pulling us up about 8 miles an hour here. Not pedaling this thing at all. Again, I weigh 200 pounds, showing about 1173 watts of power. And starting from the base of the California incline, full throttle. Let's see what speed we can get up to and how quickly. So it's showing about 1183 watts there on the display. Not pedaling, doing 15 miles an hour, 16. Still pulling 1160 watts. Hitting 19 miles an hour. And now that it's unlocked, throttle will take us beyond 20 miles an hour, which we're hitting 21. 1152 watts. And pretty much just holding us right at 21 miles an hour for the California incline. So power on this bike, you know, it's about as much as you can get for a legal-ish class 3 electric bike. And it is running hydraulic brakes with sufficiently sized 180 millimeter rotors. So we really don't see too many problems with brakes on e-bikes anymore these days. Really what you want to avoid, I would say, would be mechanical brakes. And these are hydraulics, so they've got quite a lot of stopping power. No complaints on the brakes. Is there an elf on the shelf up there, bro? That is kind of creepy. Who put that elf on the shelf up there, bro? The elf of the California incline. So we're gonna get this thing up to top speed and then give him a pull. That's about top speed, and I'm gonna try not to hurt myself here. Yeah, man, these brakes are fine and dandy. Let's see if I can make that a little more dramatic. This is just over 20. I'm gonna pull them harder. Yeah, so they're like a safe level of powerful. Like it's not so powerful that it's gonna like flip you over the front, but man, it sure brings the bike to a stop quickly. Look at this dude zooming on the board. Wow, that is like so fast for like nothing to hold on to. All right, dudes, we're about halfway through this ride, showing 48 volts on the battery. We're gonna head on home, see where the final range pans out. I'll share my final thoughts on the Mars 3.0 along the way. So what do we got going on here? Basically just a little bit more refined version of the Mars. You know, they had the original Mars, the Mars 2.0, and now the Mars 3.0. They're basically just taking a proven formula and perfecting it over time. I don't really have anything bad to say about this bike. So list price of this bike is, I actually do not know at the time of this recording. Check the link below the video. It'll take you over to the official Heybike website. I also have a coupon code down there to save you a little bit of money on your order if you do decide to buy the Mars 3.0. And of course, I greatly appreciate your support if you do decide to use my link and code. So this is part of the new X series is what they're calling it. You know, the NFC unlock's pretty cool. It's also cool that you can put the pin in, so you can kind of like restrict access to this bike. You know, if you don't want people riding it, you can kind of lock them out. And for a fat tire, you know, folding electric bike, it really just ticks all the boxes, man. You got that torque sensor. The battery's probably big enough for most rides, and it's not like excessively heavy either. So what I always say is really you just want a battery that's going to give you like enough range to do the ride you want to do. You don't really want to be lugging around a huge battery if you're not going to be using it all. I mean, we'll see where we end up on final range, but you know, it's a pretty nimble feeling, fun, adjustable bike, you know. So this is kind of like one of those bikes that'll fit riders of multiple heights. You could just have like the family e-bike that you share among, you know, a tall person raise all the stuff up and a shorter person drop everything down, and you can throw it in the back of a car. It's not like excessively heavy. You can fit it in the back of like an SUV, so it's like transportable transportation. And Heybike, you know, it's a pretty big brand, so it's not like just some one-off unknown e-bike manufacturer. They've been making e-bikes for a while. As mentioned, this is the Mars 3.0, so third iteration. The suspension on it is, you know, fairly basic, but at least it does have suspension. You could always opt for the Ranger 3.0 if you want a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more better bike. I think the Ranger 3.0 is probably better, but it's also probably more expensive. So that's pretty much my final thoughts on the Mars 3.0. Let's see where we end up on range, and if we have enough range to make it home. Champion Man is going to make an appearance today.
There's the champion.
Champion!
Got it.
Dude is a legend, man. We are down to 47 volts. It says we're just over half on the battery. So if you're looking for, you know, like an extremely long range e-bike, you might want one with more battery, but keep in mind it is gonna weigh more. Dude, this is crazy. They let people rent these motorcycles out here, like no helmets to tourists. Are those rentals?
Rentals?
Rentals. Oh, nice. How fast do they go?
30 miles an hour.
That's crazy, man.
Yo, hit the left switch, bro.
Dude, this is insane. They just let people rent these things out here. Like this dude has no idea what he's doing. No helmet, riding with tourists, like right here, like straight up motorcycle out here, bro. Oh, here's another one coming right here. Another one. My God, dude. This thing's gotta weigh like 150, 200 pounds. He's texting and driving this thing too. So per usual, I'm not pedaling much today at all, just throttling at high speed. So your range will probably end up being better than mine, unless you ride like this. So once you unlock it over 20 miles an hour, if you're holding 28 like this, you're gonna burn through your battery like pretty fast. We're pulling, you know, it takes about 1,000 watts to hold this speed. So if we ran, you know, this speed for an hour, that'd be 1,000 watt hours. The battery's not even 1,000 watt hours, so you couldn't just like hold 28 miles an hour like this for an hour. What I'm saying is we're taking a toll on our battery once we're unlocked over 20 miles an hour. Check out this Tesla. Look at a little baby Tesla. You don't see those too often. All right, dude, just finishing up the route. Let's see where we end up on range. So as I mentioned, this was like throttle only riding today. You could definitely do better than this if you slow your pace and actually pedal. But we are at 17.4 miles average speed, 12.84 hour, 21 minutes of ride time, and the battery is reading. Well, it says the voltage is basically 46 volts on the dot. The little meter there is showing about half full, which I would say is a little bit of an optimistic reading. Yeah, it says 63% on the app, but 46 volts on a 48 volt battery. I mean, you're under nominal voltage, so I can feel it's kind of starting to lose some of its pep. Now, you know, we do have more range left in the bike, but I think technically that would be 40% remaining on the battery roughly. So for what it is, Heybike Mars 3.0, pretty cool fat tire folding electric bike. If you're happy with the price and performance, use that link down below the video. Use my coupon code. It helps save you money at checkout and also helps support my reviews. And I greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bike you're looking for, dude, watch this video. Catch you over there.